In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight, and sitting across from me is the one, the only, Cash Krause. Cash,
Yes.
how the hell are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Came back from a little vacay.
And how was that?
It was pretty nice.
Yeah?
It was
Was
nice.
it nice and sunny?
Well, I was hoping it would, but the rain fucking followed me back.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What are the chances that you go there and it rains?
It actually had been raining for that last week.
Really?
Yeah, it rains sometimes in Arizona.
Yeah.
Surprised. They got to fill the rivers up somehow.
They do.
They need that drinking water.
They don't want a drought.
Yeah, absolutely not. But yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
Then I came back in a fucking rainstorm. I had to fly from Seattle to Portland. The worst turbulence. It's only like a 20-minute plane ride.
It was pissing
But the
rain
whole time,
yesterday.
the fucking plane
Yeah.
was
And you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah, I almost threw up. It was making me sick. Just
Really?
motion sickness
Oh,
because
jeez.
we were fucking moving around so much.
Brutal.
Yeah.
You never wanna puke on a plane
Literally
either.
12 people on my plane.
Oh, that's nice.
So this is the one that was going to go down and no one worry about it.
Minor casualties.
It would probably not even make the news.
I mean, unfortunately for you, but, you know.
Yeah, so
Being
you'd
on
never
the
have heard
plane,
about it, but yeah. So maybe they're just flying real loose up there because they knew.
They knew. You know what? We don't have much to lose here with 12 passengers.
And flying in the Phoenix, it's not a straight shot coming. You have to do a bank hard left. So
dude,
I thought
yeah.
the guy was doing a fucking barrel roll, dude. You have to turn so damn hard. It's
Like that one Alaskan Airlines guy who just took the plane, started doing
my
barrel rolls.
God,
And
that's the craziest.
Craziest
I want to
story,
see
dude.
more about. I want to see a book. That guy, obviously, fucking mental illness.
yeah,
And they're
well, did you-
talking
they
to
were
him, and
talking
he's
to
like,
him.
"I'm sorry." He's like,
like, "I regret
He's like,
doing
"I'm
this."
gonna put it down now." And the guy's like,
Well, he didn't
Just
even.
knew exactly what he was doing, though.
And he didn't even want to land that back
Yeah.
at the airport. He just said, hey, I don't want to.
Yeah, the guy's trying to be like, we can land this and like you'll be okay. But the guy had no fucking.
He said no.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, come on, dude. Even if you do land it, they're never letting you
That's
out.
my nightmare. Is I get on the plane and it takes off fine. I'm like, let's go get it. And the guy started, and I run, and it's just some 12-year-old.
Just got behind the wheel, learn from Xbox or something, or a
Well, that's what that guy
PlayStation.
said. He learned from Flight Simulator.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes games are a little too realistic. Let's
Too
take
realistic.
it down.
Let's dumb it down
If
a
you're
notch.
learning, fuck, you gotta fly. Government crap.
Yeah.
Thank
You
God
can
we
do
don't have
that?
Tank Simulator or anything like that where
No.
these guys are getting fucking good. But yeah.
Right.
Anyways, it was a good trip, but I'm glad to be back. But while I was there, I saw a little movie.
Whoa. Okay. Which one?
The Little Things.
The Little Things. All right. Right. Good segue into
The
the
movie
review.
we are reviewing
Yes.
today. Although theaters are open in Arizona.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Did you see any?
No.
Oh man, I almost would. If I were you, almost would have took up that opportunity.
I know, but what was I going to see? I could have saw this movie in theaters,
That's true.
and I'm kind of glad I did not.
Really?
Oh yeah, let's get into
Okay.
it. The
'cause
Little
I think
Things,
we're gonna have a little bit different perspective.
really starring
Yes.
Denzel, of course, Oscar winner, starring Rami Malek,
Oh,
Oscar
pretty
winner.
good.
Oscar winner.
Pretty good. Pretty decent. You know,
Yeah,
middle of the road
I
actor.
actually think it is a love-hate with Rami Malek.
Really?
Yeah, I think some people really enjoy him, and some because he does have a very certain style of acting.
Yeah, very unique.
For sure.
And I agree
He's
with
a
that.
very, I don't want to say eccentric because he comes off almost boring.
He does sometimes.
Yeah, he really does. But yeah, Rami Malek, and of course has one more Oscar winner because why not? Let's throw them all in there.
And the musician.
And the
30
musician, of
Seconds to
course,
Mars.
all of our 30 Seconds of Mars fans will know.
course.
Jared Leto, I've heard it pronounced.
The Joker himself.
Yeah, the Joker. When I think Joker,
Yeah,
I
you
think,
think Jared Leto. Yeah. Heath who?
I think who mastered it? Who?
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson?
Nope. Terrible.
Awful. Not a fan, but Jared Leto, he figured it out.
He did.
Yeah, but it's The Little Things. It was an HBO Max. I don't know, not original, but
No, but like part of the Warner Brothers deal.
part of
where
what's
they
going on.
released
They're
it.
releasing theater movies. It is directed by John Lee Hancock. Yeah, I wonder if he's
John
related,
Hancock,
who's related to Herbie Hancock. Maybe. But he has directed things like The Founder, Saving Mr. Banks, The Alamo, The Highwaymen, and The Rookie. Do you remember that baseball
The
movie?
Rookie.
Yeah.
Dennis Quaid, one of my favorite baseball movies of all time.
I love that. The scene that always sticks out in that movie is when he's pitching and it's the speed radar on the highway.
Yep.
And it shows up like 30, but then the thing like blinks out. It's like 89.
Yeah.
Which I don't think would ever. I don't think those things are for cars.
No.
It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna track a little baseball.
I'll never forget the one where he goes to the pitching tryouts and he's got his kid and he's changing diapers and stuff, and then he's pitching and all these young kids are looking at him like, what the hell is this?
And it wasn't that old. I think it was like 2000s.
Yeah. Not only that, but he wasn't.
You would think
that
it was
old.
like 1960s that kind of film came out. But yeah, well, he was old. Yeah, baseball. They can get pretty old and stuff.
Jamie Moyer pitched till he was 50.
Baseball's a wild sport.
It is a wild sport.
It is a wild. You can do it for a fucking long day because there's a lot of downtime.
And there's a lot of money in baseball.
Yeah.
You don't get that. You want to play a freaking sport, dude. Go be one of the best pitchers in the world. You make $200 million.
Absolutely. We're not here to talk about baseball, though.
We're not.
Let's get back to The Little Things. It is a neo-noir crime film, which I would just call it a thriller.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need to give it all those side genres, but yeah, it's basically about a grizzled kind of, typical right on the brink of retirement. Does
And on the verge of psychosis, where he's completely
well, not on the
losing
verge.
everything.
I think coming back
from
going back.
That's for sure.
Crossing the tracks and coming back over to the psychosis part because I feel like he was healthy at one part.
He was.
And then he got back into the gig.
Right.
Completely
taking vacation days.
Yeah. Come on, brother.
That's when you know you're overworking. You take vacation days to work on a separate case.
But yeah, basically, a grizzled old cop. He used to be a detective. Now he's kind of like, he's not a beat cop because they don't have beat cops anymore. But he's a sheriff. His name is Joe Deacon.
Yes.
That's played by Benzel. And he helps a guy in L.A., a LASD detective named Jim Baxter. And this is the hot shot.
Oh, he's the hot shot.
He's
never lost
of course. He's always got his guy. That's Rami Malek.
Classic.
Never really proves to me at all that he's a hotshot detective in this film. Doesn't do a single thing that goes, wow, that guy's up.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Denzel, on the other hand, does a lot of the work, but Rami
much.
Malek does not do much in this fucking film. And that, but they're solving these grisly murders that's happening. It's fucking happening quick. This guy is going psycho mode very early on. He's killing people like once a week.
About that
Maybe
rate.
once a month, but it's very fucking quick. And they can't solve this guy. He's killed 4 people at the start of the film. And that's pretty much where we go from there. It sounds thrilling, sounds exciting. Who they think is the killer is Jared Leto, who does, I think, he's also hit and miss for a lot of people, obviously, because of Joker.
Yes.
But I thought he did a really good job as this role. He plays
Pharma.
Albert
Sparma.
Sparma.
Not Pharma. Sparma.
And he is, I laughed out loud at some points because he is very hilariously creepy.
He is.
And he goes like, when he walks, and it's like, it's so funny.
I don't know, man. I know, we joke around about the Joker a lot. But I think Jared Leto is a really good talent. And I was very impressed with this role. He creeped the hell out of me.
He needs the right role to be good, for sure.
Right.
He needs really good writing also. And if it's not really good writing, then he's just kind of bland in it. Whatever happened to Morbius?
That got delayed to like 2022, I think.
2022?
Yeah, I think it's like a huge delay.
It's got to be reshoots then, or something.
Who knows?
Because no one's delaying to 2022.
No. But I thought he was good in like Dallas Buyers Club.
He
was
won
good
an
in
Oscar.
Blade Runner 2049.
He was good.
I thought he was good in those.
All those movies, great fucking writing.
Touche.
When he's Joker, when he's directed by David Ayer, who is just a middle of the road director, he does not seem to do so well. I think it's when they give him too much freedom. He really just because he is a very strange guy, possibly the leader of a cult.
Absolutely. I wouldn't say possibly.
I think that's what happens when you give Jared Leto too much freedom. Is he goes and he starts a cult of like 14-year-old girls.
Yep.
And they buy an island together, and they all live with them, and they become his sister wives. Mm-hmm. We got to watch him.
We do.
I think you got to keep him tied down a little.
Right.
I think that's a guy you got to keep him working.
You do.
Otherwise,
keep him out of trouble. You give him too much time on that island. Who knows?
Yeah, he becomes a real Charlie Manson. We got to watch him. But yeah, I thought he did a really good job in this.
Yeah, same.
As the guy you're supposed to think is the bad guy. But overall, not my favorite film.
Okay, so on the negative sides of this film, I thought the pacing was extremely slow. Trying to finally get to the climax of the film, I thought was slow. I thought the execution was slow, but I liked the way, I don't know, the ending for this movie. I really like it because it wasn't a definite.
The third act I thought was the worst part in my opinion.
Really?
But continue, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I liked it because it felt more open-ended. I obviously know the whole red beret thing in her hair, and then we see him throw it in the fire to represent that he bought it. But I did like that because throughout the film they alluded to this man being the murderer. A few prime examples was he's looking at murder photos. Yeah. And this dude is hard as a rock.
Oh, okay? Well, that's obviously, I mean, arguably the greatest. This movie was worth it because Denzel gives us an hilarious fucking police line. He says, "Your dick is harder than Chinese arithmetic." And I want that sound clip. Just isolated.
We'll just hit it anytime.
Your dick is harder than Chinese arithmetic. So funny. I died. But to that scene, the editing is fucking choppy in this film. There is way too many fucking edits.
Yeah.
That scene where he's interrogating him should have been much more powerful. But there's just 50 fucking edits. That was like the main complaint. I don't know what was going on. And I blame more the director. Because obviously he's seen this and being like, okay, more fucking edits. But there's so many fucking edits, especially in that interrogation scene, that you never get to feel like the power of Denzel. Scenes like that, you just need to leave it open and let those actors fucking chew up the scenery. You don't want to, but let them absorb the scene and really go on. But it does not. Every time you fucking edit, you're being pulled out of it. There's so many, and even the diner scene, there was like 50 edits. I mean, an action shot. What? Bam, bam. It's just too many edits. It was wild. It was really not well done in that department.
Yeah. And I agree on the editing aspect too, and especially the more I think about it, the interrogation, like as you just said, let your actors work. Like if you would have just had a shot of Jared Leto just being creepy, looking through the photos and hearing Denzel off camera, still, shooting on him, it would have led to a much more powerful scene. I do agree with that.
But then as once Denzel gets in there, that should be the only. Then it should just be letting him shoot and letting him go, being on his own. Not because every time you edit, it's you don't need to know. It just makes you feel to get out. But even to know anything, they're editing, they're stopping, they're resetting.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
they're resetting the shot, they're resetting everything. So it doesn't feel as fluid. It feels like I said, choppy. Yeah. And that would have been a great scene to just let Denzel and Jared Leto just work off each other.
When they're two, in my opinion, two incredible actors who have worked enough in the industry to understand the scene to be able to put on a great performance.
And to me, that's got to be kind of infuriating as an actor when you're in that kind of scene. You're like, okay, just let me go. This is arguably the climax of kind of the film is when they get in that interrogation scene. But just having to keep restarting and then getting that energy again, it seems like it'd be very difficult. But it's not. The whole thing is edited like this. But there's it's called The Little Things, but I think is a great thing for this movie because there's the little things kind of take you out of this fucking film. There's another very small,
Ironically,
there's another very small part where Denzel's driving at the end, and it's the worst fake driving I've ever.
I know specifically what you're
I have
talking
the
about.
clip. Even I wish I could put it up, but I have the fucking clip. It's fucking. They are straight. He's taking an exit, and he's just
straight.
How are things like this getting passed?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of blows my mind because it feels like a movie that they almost knew wasn't going to go to the theaters.
Yeah.
That was going to go straight to streaming. Because I don't know how that gets. Again, it's the little things.
It's the little things.
But it takes you out of the fucking movie. It's things like that and you don't have to be a Spielberg to catch those kind of things. You know, those are just basic small things.
There was a movie a couple months ago that I brought that very thing up when they were driving and he was like doing this the whole time. Oh, Miss. That's what it was. Miss. The Indian film where the guy was doing this and they were going straight. And I'm like, bro, quit fucking doing that with the steering wheel.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
Yeah, but it's the.
But his
the
was
scene,
CGI in the background.
It's
like an awful looking green screen. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I wish maybe we can post the clip or something, but it's fucking it's atrocious. But yeah, and then I thought the third act just got really fucking dumb as soon as Rami Malek
enters the vehicle. Yeah,
would the expert hotshot fucking cop ever
get in the vehicle with the murderer?
Who he thinks is the murderer?
Yeah.
It's just too fucking ridiculous. Everyone I was watching with was laughing at that part. Like, what the fuck? And even the entire plan. So, this is the third act. And this is when I started getting nervous. Mm-hmm. When he got in that car, I thought, I don't know where they're going with this. Because the whole time I was having, for the first two acts, the group I was with, we're all having a lot of fun trying to guess, who the killer was. At first, we were trying to guess, maybe it's Denzel.
Yeah, I actually had that thought once or twice, too.
Maybe he's completely has lost it. He did, because Denzel, his background is he had this tough case that he couldn't crack, and he kind of lost it. That's all you get.
And the way they set this shot up, I really thought that they were trying to show us that this man was mentally ill. The hotel scene where it's green lighting, which, signifies sickness, right?
Yeah.
And he's laying in bed, and it's a green filter, the cinematography, and he's like reciting something to himself, and I'm like, oh, they're showing us he's sick, so maybe
that's what
he's the murderer.
I mean, on top of that, he has hallucinations.
Yes,
they made very
could
clear.
Be a red flag.
And another time, Rami Malek comes into his room, and he's sitting in the corner in pitch dark in his underwear. That's kind of a red flag for me too. But it wasn't that at all, and that would have been more exciting than what I thought the end actually was. Mm-hmm. And then maybe I thought, maybe it's Rami Malek. Maybe the pressure of the job just got to him, and now he's fucking carrying on these, like he's split. But no, it never got into anything as exciting as that.
No.
Really, it ended up being these guys are not very good cops, and Denzel is a much better cover-up guy than he is as a cop.
That in all honesty, that was one reveal that I actually did like, and I didn't necessarily see coming. The reason why Denzel Washington's character was so obsessed with this case is because he had accidentally killed one of the victims in the woods.
I predicted as soon as she showed him a bullet that it was going to be someone that he accidentally killed, and she covered it up.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was a strange relationship with him and the, what are those people called?
The coroner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, she showed him a bullet, and she's like, "Don't forget."
Yeah.
Or she's like, "So I never forget."
Yeah.
And you know that I knew immediately it was going to be like a cover up for sure. That because it was the mushroom bullet. Yeah, obviously he shot someone that he wasn't supposed to shoot. Right. But yeah, he kind of just unfortunately gets kind of caught off guard when the victim he's looking for just jumps up after him and fucking pops her. But to be honest, they should have just turned him in.
Probably would have been simpler.
Yeah, because now he's just covering up crimes for a lot of other cops.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. I just thought the story was weak in that department where he got in with the murder. So stupid. Then he starts digging a bunch of holes for the guy, turns his back on him. Jared Leto
that shit was irritating me.
I thought for sure he was going to grab the gun.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was irritating. That was where I was like, okay, Rami Malek is supposed to be like this hotshot detective. Like he's
so much
on
stupid
his
shit.
game. And then he's digging holes, and Jared Leto's like right behind him, basically grazing him. And I'm like, how does this guy not feel this
he's
fucking
the worst cop
psycho
ever.
behind him?
Well, how do you ever turn your back on a guy who you think has killed 6 people at this point?
Right. And you're digging holes in the middle of nowhere? I mean, put 2 and 2 together, brother.
It's so
kidding me?
stupid. The third act just devolves heavily. But yeah, even the plan of like calling him up randomly, okay, meet me at this diner. I forgive you. The plan would have worked had he actually met him at the diner and distracted him. They would have 2 hours.
I know that. Okay, that was another thing where I was like, "Come on, why
There's
didn't you
so
go?"
much.
Well, and then he went,
Go on.
yeah, he went down the road, and then he came back to the car, and I'm like, why not just go to the fucking diner?
Or already you've had the dumbest plan ever. So at that point, stay in your car. You're the guy.
You're the
who was-
lookout, the double hunk. Remember?
And the double hump. This guy, who we have learned at this point, again, this is all third act. This is 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
At this point, we have learned he is a true crime expert. He would have known fucking immediately, probably hearing 2 honks. And not even that, he's 30 feet from his front door. Right. He would have known immediately that that something was going on. Mm-hmm. And before that scene, though, they're following him to a strip club where he spends 12 hours. Would that have not been a good time?
Well, that's what I was thinking too. And not only that, but if he's spending that sort of time in a strip club, you're trying to tell me there's no back door? There's no alleyway where this guy could maybe sneak out because he knows you guys are watching him at this point?
Yeah, but no, he's just there for 12 hours. Again, would have been a great time to search. You would have had 6 hours at least to do a fucking deep dive.
Could have done a full sweep of that place.
But instead he has 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. It's so stupid, I have to say. It's not very good writing, but although there is a good scene where Jared Leto's character calls the cops and
says cop down or man down.
Man down. Yeah, and that gets them going, but then it just becomes Denzel kind of does like a Spider-Man thing. He gets on the roof.
That man is 66 years old and he's doing that. Hey.
Pretty impressive.
I'm not complaining. I hope I could do half of that at 50.
But yeah, then it gets, and then again, the fucking Rami Malek getting in the car, it's just so stupid. And I wish they would have shown a little more of like Rami Malek's character's psychology and him kind of becoming unhinged a little more. Because you're only supposed to, the whole thing that going on with Rami Malek, the big heavy detail is that worst case scenario, he gets off the case.
Right.
It's not that big of a deal.
No.
To where he is supposed to be losing his mind because of this. If anything, FBI was going to come in and help him to solve the fucking... But
they don't want that help.
That's the whole thing is he's supposed to be going crazy. All is because he's going to get off. That's it. That's not even a demotion.
Right.
He's just... There's nothing going on there. That's not a big problem. But that's the whole reasoning behind him being... Essentially, eventually kidnapping Jared Leto and killing him in a pretty stupid death. Also, I thought there's no way he died from the shovel hit.
I did, because like in real life, if you hit someone full force with a fucking shovel, they're probably gonna die. I could guarantee you in one swing.
I don't know.
If I swung on someone, they'd probably die.
I don't know. You'd have to
know.
fucking.
You've never seen my baseball swing, brother.
Actually, I have. Yeah. So, but no, I don't. I mean, I guess if you got into a two-handed stance, but it was from the hip, and I don't know. You never see people die from fucking shovel hits. You'd never hear anyone die from a shovel hit.
That one famous viral video, that girl running away and getting the shovel thrown at her.
Did she die?
No. It was like 2 teenagers fighting. It was a few years ago. It was a viral, like whatever they were back then. But she's like, "Shut up, bitch!" And then she threw the shovel at her.
I haven't seen that.
Dude, it's so funny. I got to show you it someday. I'll show you it after this podcast.
But I didn't think he was gonna die immediately like that. But yeah, it's just a shovel hit.
Well, sometimes that'll do it.
I guess so. I thought it was pretty fucking unlucky, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know.
And two, Denzel Washington, he shows up and he's like, "I'll take care of all of it. I'll be back in a few hours."
Because he's the expert fucking cover-up guy.
Of course.
To my mind, it was like, how many times has this guy covered up shitty fucking cops?
Right. He's like,
that have murdered people. He's like, calling Denzel.
Yeah.
This guy can't solve a crime.
Once you cover up one, you know how to cover them up.
It's a landslide. Yeah. But yeah, he's like, okay, wait here, I'll be back in 2 hours. Like, this guy is a fucking pro.
But the crazy thing is Rami Malek's character just kept digging holes.
Yeah.
Which I guess was to show you that he lost his mind. But at the same time, like, how do you not just realize that this guy's just fucking with you? I mean, he's literally done that his entire time.
Yeah.
You know, in the interrogation room with obviously the house thing and calling an officer down. Like, this guy is messing with you. So why would he tell you where the body was?
I don't. It's again. It's just a bad cop, and there was really no hard evidence linking Jared Leto.
There was some circumstantial that we saw as an audience, like one.
Yeah, which circumstantial does not hold up.
Does not hold up in court. That is fair. But you know, like the whole roast beef thing.
That was
thing.
so.
And then we see the roast beef.
What is
sign
that? A roast beef store? Welcome to the roast beef. A giant. It was
dedicated to roast beef.
Yeah, like this guy only eats fucking roast beef. It was so ridiculous. Like, what is this store only dedicated to selling one type of meat, roast beef? It was such a like
no fish, no ham.
It's just like, make sure the audience knows this is the roast beef store.
This guy really likes roast beef. Really likes it.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, you're right. That was circumstantial. They found roast beef in her stomach.
And she was a vegan or vegetarian, whatever.
Yeah. That was. I guess that was like the hardest evidence linking him, right?
Pretty much.
Oh, and he worked at a repair shop. But Denzel had to go to multiple repair shops before he found the guy that he thought was. And the guy was just a true crime, and it wasn't. It wasn't on the old. This was 1990. It was. True crime was popular in 1990. It's been popular for a very long time.
The other circumstantial evidence, too, was that there were murders in L.A. County, which I believe is where this was, or L.A.
Yeah.
Yeah, L.A. County. And then when he moved to Michigan, which, you know, Detroit, there's always murders, right?
Yeah.
But they were like, and that was the joke that they made. So, like, when they show up at first and they're investigating, they go, oh, it looks like another Michigan or Illinois. And he goes, no, rather Michigan, Detroit. And that's when you kind of know at first. And then later on, we realized that Jared Leto's character went to Detroit for a few years. There were murders there. Comes back to L.A. and now there's murders again in L.A.
Yeah.
Serial murders. So there's, circumstantial still.
Kind of one L.A. murders never stop.
They don't. Nor do they stop in Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit is. But that's the joke they make is like, a murder in Detroit. They're all like, yeah, we can't do anything. I mean, Detroit, people get murdered constantly. Yeah, I mean.
One other thing, too. That refrigerator, when he goes to the shop, and we see it. They make it very obvious with the camera. They show this barbed wire, which was the same wire that was around her arms in the apartment when she's with the bag over her head and stuff. Those restraints were the same ones at that refrigerator store.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, they were just like wire or something.
Wires.
I mean, they wasn't barbed wire, but it was
some sort of wire.
It was some wire that you would use for repair.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like barbed wire would be maybe a red flag if you saw it. But yeah, there was the same wire that he used. Yeah. But no fingerprints.
No DNA.
No DNA.
No.
Nothing at all.
That was the thing. That was the strange things about these murders too. Is there was no. They said that he did it for sexual gratification, but there was no obviously rape or post mortem,
which is
necrophilia.
Yeah, very rare if it was sexual and then he wasn't. I mean, you don't have to do anything with the bodies, but usually they're fucking nutting by the body,
right?
Or like in their pants.
Sort of DNA yeah.
Usually it's not like they do it and then they go home and be like, well, I gotta go in a safe spot. Yeah, I'd be like, I gotta go to my bed. This is gonna be a great night. It's not like that. It's there's no fucking evidence. Like, meanwhile they're on this guy. There is a guy running rampant, really murdering people.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. Is at the end, spoiler alert. It wasn't him. It wasn't Jared Leto.
You don't think so?
No, he bought the beret to make him feel better.
Of course.
No, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't.
So then what was it with Jared Leto's character do you think it was the thrill of having these detectives think it was him?
Well, yeah, remember they said he admitted to a murder
like 8 years ago.
Years back.
Ended up not being him.
He was 11 hours away. Yeah. He was a guy that was unhinged probably, but he wasn't murdering people. Everything he was doing wasn't illegal. You know, he was a true crime junkie. He did get sexual pleasure from seeing dead body,
Yeah.
which it's not illegal. You're just a fucking really weird guy. Which is
Yeah, but I don't really like if you're getting off to shit like that. Like I don't really care if you're gone.
what? He didn't do anything wrong. I mean,
know, but-
for all we know, it's something very psychological. Like he saw a dead body when he
Yeah,
was
but he
very,
needs some at least psychological help.
Yeah, he doesn't
I
need to be
would say.
killed.
Well, I don't care either at the same time.
Oh man,
I'm
you gotta have
kind of
empathy for some people.
No,
That's not good.
That's a dude. Dead bodies getting on like. Okay, like how are we gonna help these people? Because that's eventually going to escalate, dude.
That's why you can help them. The only time it escalates is when they don't get help for it.
I'll help them.
Yeah.
I'll help them with
Yeah, I don't know. That's scary to me. But yeah, I think, I don't think we should kill them. But yeah, I think they need help. They probably need to be, someone needs to talk to. Clearly, Jared Leto didn't have anyone to talk to in this world.
Right? No, probably not.
He was very strange for sure. Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't think it was him at all. Denzel did that to just make him feel better. And then he does something very stupid. He throws a metal ammo box into a very weak fire. That was all.
Yeah.
An empty ammo box that he
Why?
looked at was empty and then still threw it into the weakest fire of all time. Like that was gonna melt it. There's again the little things.
The little things.
Yeah, but kind of in hindsight, this is kind of scaring me at this point that we have had, in my opinion, two very lackluster films for this HBO Max experiment. Wonder Woman and The Little Things are both, I think, at similar Rotten Tomato scores.
Not off to the best start.
No, worrisome for sure. What is this gonna?
Yeah. I don't know what the next one is, but not as excited for whatever that'll be,
Yeah, I don't know. What is the next one coming out?
I don't know.
Fuck, it needs to be good.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because right now,
We're on a bit
it's
of a
not
cold
looking like
streak.
this is going to be the new norm
No.
of how we watch film experiences.
Yeah, see, for me, I have a little bit higher score than Rotten Tomato. I think Rotten Tomato's sitting at like a 40% right now.
Yeah.
I would give this, if I were to rate it, I would give it like a D minus, a D. But I'd keep it at about a 60 range. I don't think it's the worst film of all time, just based on the performances alone. I was really impressed with Jared Leto. I thought he did a really good job as a Sparma guy. And I don't know, man. I got a bias towards Denzel Washington. Literally anything that guy is in, I will watch. I went and saw The Equalizer 2 in theaters, and it was awful. It was not a good film. But I love Denzel, so it's just like, it's one of those things.
Yeah, I don't... yeah, he's good. He was good in this, but it wasn't anything that was like, oh my God.
Right.
That's Oscar worthy. Like it wasn't, Denzel, he's fucking
And we were pretty
good.
hyped on this film, too.
Oh
so
my God.
It's a little bit of a letdown.
This is like my
but-
favorite type of film. Really what it felt like, did we review Seven on here?
Yeah, I think we did.
That is what this movie felt like it was trying to be, but a much dumber fucking version. Because Seven is all about, the psychology of a good cop versus a retiring cop. It's basically the exact same movie, and they're white and black.
It is. Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, and but that's a great fucking story. That's
is.
great writing.
What's in the fucking box?
Exactly. But that did a good job of showing Brad Pitt's character go through the evolution of, finally finding a really fucking bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, they didn't.
Fortunately, it cost him.
Yeah.
I'd say it cost us.
Well, and it cost him. And another thing is it cost him much, much more than what it cost Rami Malek.
Right.
What did it cost Rami Malek? Anything?
No, because he ended up just putting to bed this whole like, oh, did I kill the right person? Because thanks to Denzel, he sent him a fake fucking red beret.
I'm saying it cost him so little. Didn't even cost him his job.
Nope, didn't cost him his job. Didn't cost him his mental
Didn't
health.
cost him
nothing.
his marriage.
Nope.
There's so little at stake here. That was my Denzel had a lot of stake
He did.
in the fact that he was just I don't know where Denzel goes from here. That character.
Who knows? Hopefully,
Right
he just
back to his
stays in that house. Just retires for once. Damn it.
Yeah, this guy's doing more bad than he is good
His
at this
office
point.
rocker. Yeah,
Yeah,
he is.
he's really. But yeah, I would say skip it.
I'd say a wellness check in a couple months for that man. Staying in that one home.
They're not. We know about the police. They're not checking in on their officers.
No, they're not.
You need to check in. Yeah, but Yeah, that's all I got for the little things.
Alrighty. Well, that is our review for The Little Things on HBO Max. If you guys like what you've seen here and you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. If you'd like to find our podcast in audio format, you can find that on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. Our social media pages, Twitter, Seen It Podcast, Instagram, Facebook, Have You Seen It Podcast. And if you guys want some Have You Seen It merch like this sweatshirt I'm wearing here, you guys can find that link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Krause. And until next time.
Bye.